Hello. Thanks for being here. I'm continuing to explore these hard drives. I have a 9060, I have a 9090, and I have just the power supply from a 9090. So, I've been looking online, and I found some information that I thought would be helpful. So, what I'm going to do, and by the way, I'm sure a lot of you who do a lot of poking around in things are not afraid of poking around in things with meters. I'm always afraid I'm going to do more harm than good, so I try and be very careful when I do this. So what I'm going to do, after referring to the manual, there are some spots on the power supply board that you should be able to get the voltage from the 5 and the 12. They say it is critical that these voltages be as close to exact as they can be. So I know you can't see this well. Basically, there's a typical Commodore transformer, and then there's a little board. And then there are 3 power connectors that go off and do their magic. So, I have here a little meter that does all kinds of things that some of them I understand, some of them I don't. And I don't need to. Basically, when I use a meter, oftentimes it's been, let me just get the wires sorted out here, to do, there's many things this meter does. You know what I like? Just a second. Continuity. Very helpful. But that is not going to be what I need to do. I'm going to set this at DC 20. I am, and then let's set it here. No, on a bit of an angle so I can actually see it. And I'm going to turn, I'm going to turn on the power supply that says 9090 that actually has had, in the time that I know that I've had it, it hasn't had anything in it. And there are 2 places on the board. It's funny, the 12 volt ones are very close together, and the 5 volt ones are very far apart. So way inside here, what I can get at it is the ground. I should have my glasses on. I think I saw some here. Anyway, I know where they are because I've looked them up. Yes, that is the ground. So I take the black one, and I have it in my hand already. I have the red one in my hand. So I'm going to very gently, carefully put the red one onto its spot and hold it very nicely. And now I have the ground one on, and it is fluctuating between 5.2 and 5.3 volts. It says it needs to be within 5%. And that seems to be within acceptable tolerances. Although see, on here there are a couple of tiny little potentiometers. They kind of look like little suitcases with screws on the end. It's tempting to try and tweak that so it's bang on 5, but I'm not going to do that now. I'm just checking voltages. So, now the 12 volt things are right beside each other. So, remember there's a fan spinning in here. I must be careful. I will put the red one on, I will put the black one on, and I will very carefully look over and see that it is reading, hello, 11.96 volts. Seems to have changed right at the end there. Okay, it's between 11.9, it's 11.96, it's holding steady. So, that seems to be within acceptable tolerances. Seems to be. Oh, you know what? I should probably write those down. 0, 3, 2 to 3. Alright. Always good to make note of such things. So now, I'm going to pull this out of here. This is the drive, the 9090, that was working fine, but then with the 9060 board was working fine, and then it wasn't, which irks me tremendously. So I will set that up in there. Now this is a little tougher to get out because it's got all the parts in here. But I can do it. So I'm going for the 5 volts. Check out some more light here. It's fluctuating between 5, well now it's, okay, 5.2, or 5.02 and 5.03. Within acceptable tolerances. That's a good sign. Now, go for the 12. Huh. Okay, it's at 11.94 and 5. Now it's steady on 5. So, I'll write that down. 11.94 to 5 and 5.02 to 3. So they sound to be pretty okay. So I'm still kind of baffled about what has gone wrong with this drive that was working. Alright, so here, the last one is the 9060 that I've completely taken out and taken apart and such. But this is the one, it never has worked for me. Although the circuit board worked in the 9090 before the 9090 stopped working. So, I'll turn it on. And once again, I can get at this pretty easy because there's nothing in the way. Alright. We'll go for the 5 volts. Ooh, 5.01 and 2, so it's really close. 5 points, it's swapping between 0.1 and 0.2. And now we'll look for the 12. Oh, well, this is reading 1.13 volts. Yeah, that could definitely be a reason, but that's not working. Let me write that down. .13, 5.01. So the 5 volt is quite perfect, almost. And the 12 volt is really screwed. So there's obviously some failure on this board. So definitely there is no chance that anything that I put inside this is going to work. No way, no how. So, as I glance around, of course, I don't see anything obvious, but, I mean, like nothing that looks smoked or burned or charred or anything like that. But I will have to look into this. Or perhaps I'll have somebody else look into this. Maybe it will be Rudy. And off the top of my head, I don't remember the name of Rudy's channel, but Rudy is going to be doing videos on YouTube as well. I'll get you that information. Okay, so I don't know if I have here a screwdriver tiny enough to do this with. Oh. Yeah, I do. Look at that. So you know what I think I'm going to do? I can't do everything with one hand, or even two. But they say it's critical that these voltages be as close as they can be. So, I have tweaked the 5 volt ever so slightly. I don't know. Okay, it's still much the same. 5.023. So, with great care and reverence, I'm going to turn this a little wee bit. Let's see if it makes any difference. Oh yeah. So now, it's at 5.1, going back and forth between 1 and 2. Excellent. And I gave it perhaps a little bit of a turn. I'll give this just, I'll go flat on this. Okay, so now it is flashing between 5.00, but it's holding on 5.01. Should I be doing this with the thing turned on? Maybe not. I'm being very careful to touch nothing. If I can just get the screwdriver in, I'll go just a little tweak down. And it is now steady on exactly 5 volts. Shaboom. Alright. So now, this is bang on 5. Now, before, so the other one was 11.96. Now I turned in a counterclockwise fashion to lower that ever so slightly. So I'm assuming on the 12 volt, if I go in a clockwise fashion, it might go up. So I'm going to go up. Oh, hello. I'm turning it so it's vertical. Not quite half a turn. And let's see where we're at. Okay, it was fluctuating between 12 and 12.1 or 12.01. So I want to get this bang on. They emphasized in the manual that was critical. Okay. I'm going to just give it the slightest tweak. And then alright, bang on 12. Alright, that is good. I am pleased, because what I'm now thinking that I'm going to do is I'm going to take all the 9060 parts and put them in here and see what happens. Certainly this one is not going to be I brave enough to tweak this one? Maybe. Maybe I am. I could certainly do the 12. Well, I can probably do them both. Hey, what could go wrong? What could go wrong? So maybe I can just leave that sitting there. So this one was 5.23. So I'm going in by that wire. There was a wire, one of the power ones, in the way with the shadow. Doesn't make it any easier to see. Alright, so the 5 ground is way in here. I have secured it. Alright. Almost. Alright, 5.01 going between 01 and 2. Alright, we have tweaked it again. Look up the negative. Look up the positive. And it seems to be bang on 5. Alright. Excellent. Now this one was a little low. It's in the way. I'm going to go about a half a turn. That seems to be what has been helpful. Alright. These pins are right next to each other. Alright. We're at 12.02. So we'll go back to that. By the way, if you see what I'm doing, and you think you're not capable of doing it, don't do it. Because you know what? I'm not even sure I'm capable of doing it. Oh, what am I doing? Look at the wrong ones. Okay. Alright, we've settled on 12.1. But I'm not settling. So let's give it a tiny little tweak. And we got 12. Okay. They say that it's critical. Or they say you could be within 5%. Well, you know what? I don't want to be within 5%. I am bang on. Bang on. There is one other thing on this drive that has pestered me for a while. I'm not sure I can do anything about it at this second. but the cable, the ribbon cable up here, I don't think it's been off in eons. And I don't know, like I would like to loosen it up and put it back on. Let me just unplug it here. I would, because, I don't know, it just looks like it's, dear God, it just doesn't look nice here. Okay, come on. Like, I don't even know how to describe what that means. But it looks like people have tried to pry at it. It hasn't been me. And it looks like there might be some, you know, corrosion in there. Oh man, it is snug. This, indeed, I mean, it could be, I don't think it is, but, you know, I'd just like to be able to get a good wiggle on it or something. But that does not seem to be happening. Maybe I'll try the opposite. I'll try and get a little, oh there, it moved a little in. That can't hurt, can it? What can go wrong? Okay, so it's kind of moved some. So if there was any microscopic dirt in there, that might have helped. Maybe. So, 9060 I've never had working. Bad voltage. Bad, low voltage, like 11 volts low. This one was working, stopped working. Voltages are now tickety-boo, bang on. Will it work when I try it? Probably not. This one, which I've never had anything in, is now got perfect voltages and perfect everything, it seems, and I'm going to try and put the 9060 stuff in there and see what happens. And is anything actually going to work for me? I would like to think so, but I tend to doubt it. Anyway, I will continue to tinker. I shall. So, as I say, if anything in here looks like something that you're not comfortable doing, for God's sake, don't do it. It took me a lot of thought and preparation to go in there, and also I had on the screen the thing from the manual that showed exactly everything, that made me feel better, and that I could actually get my meter in there and get on there. It did. So, yeah. I really want this one to work long enough for me to get the files off of it, which I should have already done, but I'm not sure if I mentioned, and this could also be something with it, when I connected an ieee cable from the PET to this, and then tried to hook another one up to go to the printer to print the directory, it wouldn't work. I never did actually try another drive yet. I was thinking what I might actually do was go through a 64 and a bus card, because then I could even use a 1541, slow as it might be. So at this moment, I did not rescue the files, and that irks me tremendously. It does. It does. Anyway, so I think I will carry on and see what it is that I do next, and I will report back to Rudy what I've been up to, and I suspect he is one who may know much more about power supplies and things, and might have a clue as to what on this circuit board has failed. And who knows, with that much of a failure, I would like to think that, like the transformer, you would think if a transformer failed, it would fail, and I wouldn't get any good voltage. But I don't know. I just don't know. Anyway, I suppose I'm a little more hopeful that maybe I can get something working here. Maybe. We'll see. Anyway, thanks. The 9090-9060 project continues.